During the various stages of our coursework, many different technology devices and platforms were used. A very key media technology I used was WordPress, which is an online platform that allowed me to upload all my research and planning, products and evaluation once I had finished them. The first stage of our coursework was research of existing horror trailers and planning for our own horror trailer. During the research and planning stage, I looked at generic conventions of horror trailer subgenres, which I presented through a Prezi. By looking at the generic conventions of horror trailer subgenres, it allowed me and helped me to decide what sort of subgenre I wanted for my own horror trailer. I then began to do target audience research to find out what sort of things people already enjoy about horror films and what they would like to see in a horror film. This was done by filming audiences answering a variety of horror film related questions on an iPhone 6 smartphone.
I generally like to see horror films set in the dark, sometimes in the light.
The night time, because I find it more scarier and more things can happen there. However, I do like an ongoing theme, so the daytime as well.
I generally prefer horror movies to be set in the dark. I enjoy paranormal.
Things for revenge, keep me on the edge of my seat.
I enjoy zombie films. I enjoy revenge films.
And then using Windows Movie Maker to edit it all together and then finally uploading it on YouTube in order for people to view. Further research was done by analysing the generic conventions of horror film trailers. These conventions included the mise-en-scène, the camera work, the sound and the editing, in which we looked at existing horror trailers and analysed these different conventions. IMBD was a useful website for searching and watching well-known horror trailers such as Sinister 2. For the mise-en-scène analysis and the camera work analysis, I took screenshots from the trailers, put them together in a PowerPoint presentation, and then uploaded it to SlideShare. For the analysis of sound, I converted the trailer Sinister 2 into an MP3 audio format by using a YouTube converter, and then I did the same for the editing analysis with the trailer Annabelle. However, this time I converted it into a WMV video format instead, and then edited these analysis in Windows Movie Maker and then finally uploaded it onto YouTube. After all my research of existing horror trailers was completed, I began planning for my own horror trailer. I started by drawing up a storyboard containing sketches of each scene in the trailer and details on the sound, music and dialogue, as well as camera angles and transitions each scene would contain. This was then uploaded to SlideShare for people to view. After finishing my storyboard, it was then scanned into the computer where I began making my animatic. I put together the animatic by using Apple's software iMovie, where I could add my sound, music, dialogue and transitions. By creating an animatic, this helped me formalise an idea of what I wanted my trailer to look like as well as sound like. Here is a short clip of my animatic. After I completed my animatic, I uploaded it to YouTube where it could be viewed and easily accessed. Once I had an idea of the trailer plot and vision, I then began the next stage of the coursework, which was the construction of my products. I began filming using a high-tech Canon camera in order to get the best quality of film and picture. A variety of different scenes and footage was filmed, and I used iMovie to edit it all together and add sound and filters as well as title pages. I chose to use iMovie over other platforms such as Windows Movie Maker, as it gave it a more professional and finished look. Whilst the filming and editing of the trailer was being completed, I then went on to create my film poster. I began by using the search engine Google to research existing horror posters in order to establish the generic conventions of horror posters. After creating my poster plan, I then used the Canon camera to take images that I could use for my poster. I decided to use a quality camera like the Canon camera, as it easily gave me high definition pictures without blurring or pixelation. Once I was happy with the image I wanted, I began editing it in Adobe Photoshop. By using the software Photoshop, I was able to crop the image and edit it to make the model look darker and more sinister, giving my poster image an effect and a look that a real horror poster would have. In order to create my final poster, I used the software Publisher to put everything together. I needed text for my poster, so I used 1001 fonts. On 1001 fonts, I searched for horror fonts and found You Murderer that I used for my film title, tagline and release date. And then I searched for movie poster fonts, and then I found SF movie poster font that I used for the credits. Once my film poster was completed and I was happy with it, I began making a website to accompany my trailer and poster. I used a website template on the site Wix, W-I-X, to create my website. I wanted to use a different image for my website than what I used on my poster. Once I found a suitable picture for my website that I liked, I used the Adobe program Fireworks to cut out the background on the original picture in order for me to place it on my website against the black background. Like my poster, I needed text for my website, so I used the same site 1001 fonts to find text. Once the trailer was fully completed, I then uploaded it to YouTube so people could view it and share it. And then once it was finally uploaded to YouTube, I then put a link onto my website so the audience could also watch it through the website. After all 3 of my products were completed, I then moved on to the evaluation stage of my coursework. For question 1 of the evaluation stage, I used screen prints of my products as well as existing products, in order for me to analyse the ways in which my product has developed or challenged forms and conventions of real media products. I put together screen prints and videos of my product and existing products on Windows Movie Maker and recorded a voiceover on my iPhone 6 smartphone using the Voice Memos app to answer the question. I then downloaded this off my phone and onto the computer and put it onto Windows Movie Maker, where I edited it all together. For the second evaluation question, I used the online website Prezi, where I again used screen prints of my products and wrote about the effectiveness of my products together. When it came to question 3 of the evaluation stage, I used my iPhone 6 smartphone to film audience feedback of my final products. I then used Windows Movie Maker to edit this along with clips from my trailer and screen prints of my poster and website, in which I edited all together with title pages of my written answer to what I learned from my audience feedback. In this final evaluation question, which is number 4, I used the search engine Google to find logo images, and I also used screen prints of me using different technologies that I used in my coursework, such as Adobe, Fireworks or Publisher, as well as videos and images of my final products. As I did in question 1, I recorded the answer using my iPhone 6 smartphone and edited this all together on Windows Movie Maker. All the work I produced, from my research and planning to the construction of my products, and then finally my evaluation, was all uploaded to WordPress.com.